Welcome to the Miami International Autodrome, home of the Miami Grand Prix. This exciting track circumnavigates the Hard Rock Stadium, home to the National Football League outfit, the Miami Dolphins. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 3.36 miles of track around the Hard Rock Stadium, and 19 corners make up the Miami International Autodrome, which will challenge the drivers in a tight wheel-to-wheel race. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Piastri, Yuki Tsunoda, and Leclerc, Antonelli, Russell, Fernando Alonso, and Liam Lawson, Stroll, Hadjar, Carlos Sainz and Albon, Gasly, Behrman, Franco Colapinto and Esteban Ocon, Bortoleto and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me today, former Formula One driver and former world champion too. See, told you I'd give you a big intro. Anthony Davidson, hello. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, DRS is now available. Look out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past. great manoeuvre. You made it look so easy. Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 4.1 seconds. Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap.
Was a nice car, very nice car, amazing car.
Very controlled race. Well done, mate.
Tsunoda takes the checkered flag and wins.
They had to be decisive with their overtaking today as they worked their way through the field. And those kind of race victories are so enjoyable because it's not just like winning from the front. They really had to work for it today.
It's what they've all been racing towards, waiting for them. High above the pit lane is our podium. And for the lucky three, it's time to stand on it. And the little man towers over the rest. It's the top step of the podium for Yuki Tsunoda. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next. It's time to hit the track then, as we embark upon another thrilling round of Formula One racing here at Imola. Welcome to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. One lap of Imola, anti-clockwise of course, unlike most Formula One circuits, will take our drivers round 3.1 miles of track, 19 turns, 9 right-handers and 10 to the left. Drivers will need to be precise at the hairpin at turn 7, given the subsequent uphill section. Without a good exit from that corner, they'll lose a lot of time on that stretch. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Lando Norris, and Russell, Antonelli, Piastri, Stroll, and Fernando Alonso, Albon, Hadjar, Carlos Sainz, and Lawson, Hulkenberg, Colapinto, Ollie Behrman, and Gabriel Bortoleto. Ocon and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And alongside me today, a man small in stature but big on comment, Anthony Davidson. Hello. So we're getting close to the start of the race. What will this driver be experiencing? Big nerves? Big excitement? What?
Always extra nerves at the start of the race, Gruffy. Probably at the start of the race, it's where your heart rate's at its highest in anticipation. And you've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to be thinking there inside the car, what can go right? How can I be opportunistic rather than what can go wrong? And how do I protect my position? Look forward and stay positive. It's easy to say, very hard to do when you're in that position.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
We can now use DRS. DRS now available. Great work, that's a new fastest lap of the race. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Good job, that was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Congratulations for your achievements.
Great drive.
It's Yuki Yahei! Yuki Tsunoda wins!
Well, another race victory today. You could clearly see they're driving out there with very little pressure. You know they have the performance, they know they've got the car under them as well, and this has done no harm, of course, for their championship chances.
And it's time for that special moment for our special three today. The podium awaits our top three finishers. What a victory for a very popular young man. Yuki Tsunoda takes the top step today. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One. You can feel the tension in the air as we move into race day here in Monaco. It's a track that requires the full concentration of the drivers with zero margin for error. It tests their skills to the absolute limits, so no wonder it remains a fan favourite. The prestigious Circuit de Monaco, then, is not all that dissimilar today to the layout that made its debut almost a century ago. It's 2 miles and 19 corners through the streets of Monte Carlo. And although the average lap speed of around 93 miles per hour is the lowest of the season, the tiny margins for error make it the natural habitat of the safety car. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Yuki Tsunoda lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Russell, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Leclerc, Norris, Antonelli, Hadjar, and Fernando Alonso, Lawson, Stroll, Alex Albon, and Sainz, Hülkenberg, Colapinto, Ollie Behrman and Esteban Ocon. Gasly and Gabriel Bortoleto rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. Now, I'll be generous here. It's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday. But in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has, Crofty. You know, the cars have got bigger, they're heavier, but critically, there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was about 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometres an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance. But because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
Okay, let's have a comms check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. Great work, that's a new fastest lap of the race. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Okay, this is your final lap of the race.
Well, good job, guys.
Another 1.2 finish. Well done.
The checkered flag is out. The crowd roar their approval for Yuki Tsunoda.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
And once all the hard work is over, and after lap of brilliant racing, it's time now to celebrate with our podium trio. And the little man towers over the rest. It's the top step of the podium for Yuki Tsunoda. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.